officials assembled for the dedication of the image that King Nebuchadnezzar had set up, and they stood before it. Okay, so what's going on in this story? Real simple. King Nebuchadnezzar is brainwashing these 4 teenagers and become the best and brightest Babylonians. He changes their identity in chapter 1, not to follow God or Jesus, but to follow a new way. Anything they wanted they can have. All they had to do was follow this new Babylonian way. In chapter 2, Nebuchadnezzar has a terrible nightmare. We talked about that last week. Terrible nightmare. Kept him up. The Bible says that he was in turmoil over this. In fact, it was such a nightmare of a dream that King Nebuchadnezzar said, if you don't tell me what my dream is, I'm going to cut you up in little pieces and destroy your home. That's how significant this dream was. So he brought in all of his administration, all of the sorcerers, everybody that believed in witchcraft, everything that could foretell the future, anybody that followed the star. He brought them all in and said, here's what I want you to do. I want you to tell me, you need to tell me my dream. Nobody could do it. So, who's he call in? These 4 talented teenagers. And Daniel steps up and says, I'm not going to tell you your dream, but God is going to tell you your dream. And God is going to change your life through that dream. And so Daniel tells him, here's what this dream means. There's a statue going to be built. And all these layers, all these nations are going to come against Babylon, and they're all going to be defeated. And how are they going to be defeated? By a stone. By a stone that's going to come and it's going to destroy the Persians, the Greeks, the Romans, all the way down. All these nations will rise and fall, but there's one stone that will last forever. And Daniel said that stone is God. That stone will destroy all the nations, but in the end, in eternity, the one stone that will set up his kingdom, that will never be destroyed, is God. God's kingdom. Now, you would think after that nightmare that Nebuchadnezzar would be scared to death and turn and follow God. But what happens? What's he do? He builds a 9-foot statue. He builds a 9-foot statue. And what's King Nebuchadnezzar do? He calls everybody in again. King Nebuchadnezzar makes a gold statue 9 feet tall and 9 feet wide. Every governor, leader, advisor, judge, magistrate to come to the dedication. Now imagine if that happened in our culture. Imagine if somebody like, let's say Tom Cruise. Okay? Everybody knows who Tom Cruise is, right? Tom Cruise said, I am so powerful in Hollywood, I'm going to set up a 9-foot statue of me right in Beverly Hills. Imagine if Michael Jordan did that, said, I'm the best player of all time, or LeBron James. There's a big debate of who's the better, right? But maybe Michael Jordan or LeBron James says, I'm the best NBA player that ever was. Right outside of my arena in Chicago, I'm going to set up a 9-foot image of myself. Golden image. And I'm going to invite all my friends. What if one of our presidents did that right outside of the White House? An image set up outside of one of those buildings of a statue outside the arena or outside the White House or outside some public property or outside some place in our country made of pure gold. And what was that statue built for? For him. It was built for Nebuchadnezzar to say, look at me. Look at what I've done. Look at my power across this land. Look at my influence. Look at what I can achieve. So then in verse 4, look in chapter 3, verse 4. Then the herald loudly proclaimed, nations and people of every language, this is what you are commanded to do. As soon as you hear the sound of all these instruments, I'm not going to go through them, okay? You must fall down and worship the image of gold that King Nebuchadnezzar has set up. Whoever does not fall down and worship will immediately be thrown into a blazing furnace. When you hear the sound, you immediately fall down. Now, here's what's crazy about King Nebuchadnezzar. King Nebuchadnezzar is saying this. that I want everybody across my country, across Babylon, I want to know who's with me and who's against me. So what am I going to do? I'm going to set up this beautiful golden statue, 9 feet, 90 feet tall, 9 feet wide. And when the music starts to play, all across my kingdom, everybody's going to bow. And I'm going to see who is with me. I want to find out who's completely sold out to my kingdom. When the horn blasts out music, everyone must fall. So I was thinking about this. Like, what if that happened in present day? What if we got in a major city in the country, and the ruler of that country got together in one of the largest arenas? So I looked up and I found out that Rungrado Arena in North Korea is the largest arena in the world. It seats 160,000 people, okay, for a soccer game. They love soccer, I guess, in North Korea. But imagine that the ruler of North Korea said, I'm going to gather everybody together in this large arena. 160,000 people. And we're actually going to open up the field so thousands of more people can come onto the field. And here's the whole point. I want to know who's with me. I want to know who is loyal to my kingdom, who's loyal to me as the president or the leader of this country. And in Daniel 3:7, all nations, tribes, and tongue fall down, the Bible says. All nations, tribes, and tongue. Therefore, as soon as they heard all the instruments play, all the nations and people of every language fell down and worshiped the image of gold that King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. So you think about, you're in this stadium, 160,000 people.